Now, big data, we're told, is going to change everything. The trillions of bits of data we create as we go about our daily lives are being stored and increasingly examined. Governments, companies, medical researchers, now the police say this potential goldmine of information can help them do their job better. The police and intelligence services are turning to big data to find patterns, clues that can help solve crimes. And there are hints that some data may help predict crime too. Susan Watts is our big data sleuth.
You might think it's standard practice in crime and intelligence to look for patterns in criminal behaviour, but the clearest patterns emerge only when you have masses of data and a good way to analyse it, whether that's policing a tough neighbourhood or investigating a vast terrorist network.
This is where big data comes in, filtering out useful information from huge volumes of data, making connections between times and places where crimes happen, making links between people and events. And if crimes happen across national boundaries, that can mean disentangling complex networks of criminal activity.
There are some people you can find, and Osama bin Laden is this node here.
Terrorists leave data trails. Joe Parry sells software that helps to make sense of those. It's useful for multinational corporations too. If faced with fraud or industrial espionage, it can help them identify culprits within their own workforce by understanding how employees have been communicating with the outside world.
In this diagram we're showing here, you can see these kind of red fans around the edge of the diagram. Those are external email addresses that are being emailed from the internal nodes. The internal nodes are green. What we're going to do now is just drill inside, and you can see that there are some red nodes in the center of the network, and those could be particularly interesting because they're external nodes that are being emailed very, very frequently by internal people. Now that could be for legitimate reasons, but it could be for illegitimate reasons too.
Battlefield information collected from the soldiers and sensors at national, theater, and tactical levels is immediately exploited.
One of our biggest clients is the US Army, and the US Army have mountains of data, literally data underneath mountains. With that kind of data, there's new kinds of challenges. Networks get larger in particular, and larger networks are really hard to think about. In this network is a network of terrorists, and the people in the network are represented by flags, which is the country of origin of the person. But even with that information in the network, you really can't see the dynamics of that network, how it's held together. We're able to combine the people from a particular country into one node in the network, and then that allows you to understand the interplay, for example, with the strength of the connections between individual nations.
He couldn't tell us exactly how the US Army is using his software because it's secret, but the point is that intelligence officers in the field often need to grapple with massive data sets in real time. So visualising links between disparate information helps make sense of it. The use of big data to tackle crime is in its infancy. Before we can really judge if it has the potential to be truly revolutionary and predict crime, the police and intelligence agencies will first have to embrace the idea that data crunching can do more than simply speed things up and save some money.